The epidemic of missing persons in the United States is the scourge of a modern society. In the age of the internet, supercomputers, connectivity, and CSI, how can there be over 110,000 people whose locations are unknown in the United States? In that same society, how can there be an estimated 40,000 unidentified dead throughout the US? If we accept the premise that the majority, if not all, of these unidentified deceased were reported missing somewhere, we must ask, why haven't these cases, the unidentified and the missing, been linked together? Where is the missing link between them? The fact is that the vast majority of missing person cases resolve themselves by the return of the missing person, through no intervention by law enforcement. This fact is both a blessing and a curse, for it leaves many misguided personnel to invest little or no time into the basics of the investigative process, counting on the missing person's return. This has had, and will continue to have, dire consequences for the true at-risk missing person cases and the missing person's family. Like missing person cases, the vast majority of these cases are identified within hours or days. However, that still leaves an average of 5 cases per year that are not identified and may not be identified for months, or years, if ever. Currently, approximately 250 unidentified cases are under active investigation going back to 1937. How are those approximately 95% cases identified? Forget what you saw on last night's episode of CSI. There are primarily only 3 scientifically acceptable ways to identify someone who is either unwilling or unable to identify themselves: fingerprints, dental records, and DNA. DNA. The best source of a missing person's DNA is from the missing person himself, or herself, referred to as a direct DNA sample. Missing persons leave their DNA behind on toothbrushes, shaving razors, hairbrushes, finger and toenail clippings. Believe it or not, these are a great source of DNA. Who knew? Unwashed clothing, hats, chewing gum, dental retainers, etc. Use your imagination. The missing person's family should be instructed to immediately start preserving these items, as they are typically the first things discarded. Instruct the family to secure these items into clean, dry envelopes, taped shut. Don't lick the envelope. We want the missing person's DNA uncontaminated, and properly marked. If these items were not left behind, and even if they were, reference DNA samples should be obtained from blood relatives. The best reference DNA would come from the missing person's identical twin siblings, monozygotic twins. But, identical twins are rare. Next are both biological parents. If one parent is not available, then the available parent, hopefully the mother, because it is the mother that passes down mtDNA, should be sampled, along with as many full siblings as possible, to fill in the missing parent's DNA. The sampling procedure is simple. Basically, a Q-tip is swabbed on the inside of the subject's mouth. No blood, no needles. But, the sample should not be submitted to just any DNA lab. Since our goal is to have the missing person's DNA profile to be available for comparison to unidentified persons nationwide, the samples must be entered into the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS FBI. There are only a few DNA labs certified to complete a DNA profile and submit to CODIS. A list of such labs are available on the CODIS website. California has one, Department of Justice, Missing/Unidentified Persons DNA Program, DOJ DNA. They accept personal items, toothbrushes, etc., and buccal swabs. If the missing person was reported to a California law enforcement agency, then regardless of where the missing person's family member is located, the agency should contact California DOJ and request that the free kits be mailed to the investigator. If the missing person was reported to a law enforcement agency in a state that does not have its own certified lab, then DNA samples may be submitted to either the Federal Bureau of Investigation directly, or to the Center for Human Identification at the University of North Texas.